Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Team Scotland intra team friendly draw thing. where we're joined by BB Jock, captain of Team Scotland. Hello.
Hello to you too, in Jimmy S voice with a Scottish accent.
He's basically Scottish himself, right? He's so far north.
Well, they do say Geordies are just Scotsmen with their heads bashed in.
Well,
Although, is he a Mackem or something like that? He's not a Geordie, is he?
he's from
He's from
is it
Hartlepool or something, somewhere crazy like that.
Darlington?
Darlington, that's it. He's from
Yeah,
Darlington. Kind of like Newcastle.
there we go. So yeah, off you go. Give us a background to why we're doing this draw, why I've been drafted in as a non-biased draw maker, I suppose.
Well, the obvious reason for getting you is you're obviously a friend of Scotland, being based in Scotland, and you are the premier streamer midday in my mind. You know that 12 to 1 slot. You know Wogan has nothing on you, so you were the obvious pick to sort of have this sponsored stream of Scottish magic. Essentially, what this is, and I'm sure you're doing the same with Ireland as for Eurobowl, is we're looking to have practice matches and. We've had one for Team Scotland with Malta, and we've got ones lined up with England and Italy, and we've got a few others, but we've got a bit of a gap. And actually, I took a bit of inspiration from Wolfen, the England captain, who's currently sort of going on the grand virtual tour, as they've called it, of playing different leagues in England against the England squad. And I thought, well, you know what? Why not? Let's have a Scotland versus the Tartan Army because this year's pretty amazing. We've got 31 coaches going to Eurobowl from Scotland, which is more than double from last year, and it must be a significant record. I mean, we didn't even have that many go at the World Cup in Alicante
Yeah.
last time round. So yeah, we've kind of changed our approach. I think you have as well. So we've got this year we've got a 12-man squad where the bowl in the Open will be firmed up after the home nations in July. We also have a development squad being captained by from her ashes, Phil Cairns, who is the TO for Granite Bowl. And I just thought, you know what? We had a lot of applications this year. We had 26 coaches apply to go for Scotland. Um, and some were on the verge, from our ashes was very close, but he drew the short straw in the sense that he's an undead coach, and I already have three undead slash orc coaches
Yeah.
in the likes of Lord Garlic, I done goofed and Sporin. So yeah, I thought it was a good chance to kind of allow the guys that are looking to be up and coming to test their metal, and obviously keep the sword sharp for the Scotland team. So yeah, I thought we'd pair them off together.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a good idea. Get a few extra games and practice, and it's nice that it's completely random and stuff like that as well. Um, I know you asked Team Ireland if we were up for a squad friendly, and I was asked by England as well, and I basically had to give both of you the same answer in that uh, we're struggling enough to get games practice in between our actual squad. Never mind trying to field eight people on one format of Blood Bowl to play. So we have a couple of people who only want to play Fumble, a couple of people who only want to play Blood Bowl 3, and it's very hard to convince all of them to migrate to one. So maybe that'll be a selection parameter next year, is that they'll all
Yeah,
have to be flexible.
it's it's tricky because like last year, like my first year on the squad, and I wasn't really a fumble user, and I never really got over the inertia of getting used to it. But now that I have, I quite enjoy it. It's fun. But then
Yeah.
that said, this is not going to be only fumble, or well, we're allowing for Blood Bowl 3 matches, where race
Okay.
matchup, in that sense. Because I know Sporin, who kind of has got these big meat-fisted fingers trying to press the keyboard for fumble. He struggles a bit, so we're going to give him a controller if we can get away with it. You know, it makes life easier for him.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, we'll have a bit of both, and we'll keep people posted as the results come in.
So hopefully we don't draw Sporan versus someone who only plays Fumble. Is that what you're saying?
That's pretty much the deal. Yeah, like that's the plan. Like give Sporin a BB3 matchup somehow. That'll be the plan.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm ready to go whenever you are. We can hit it off.
I am too. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Let's get spinning, as they say.
Let's get spinning. Here we go. There's custom sound effects. I don't think you can hear them though.
I can't though, but I'm guessing it's on stream.
Yeah, the stream should be able to hear. So the first up we have Lord Garlack, who is playing what Jock? What's he playing?
He has got humans this time round, so it'll be an interesting matchup for him. Traditionally, he's been an undead coach, but Sporin is playing undead this time round, so it means that we need to sort of see him look at playing a different race. And he's handy on Necro as well, but we're just thinking that humans with a mighty blow tackle might be an interesting one, so he's given that a bit of play and seen how he gets on with it. He played him at Mulligan's as well. Actually, did all right.
Yeah, and he actually beat me with humans at Kelpie, so that's pretty fun.
So humans OP confirmed then.
Humans are OP, yeah. I lost to humans very recently again on tabletop. It's one of my things. I need to sit down now and figure out how the hell do humans beat or do elves beat humans, which is not something I ever thought. But yeah,
I think we'll see quite a few humans potentially at Eurobowl.
Yeah, I think they're almost a must take. So let's see, who are the humans going to be facing?
I was about to say, Valen wouldn't have been happy with that. He's keen to take out his son Nobla.
Okay. So we didn't deprive him, but so instead, Phil 78, who is on.
Phil is a very, very strong Woodies coach and a former Scotland cap, so no slouch, shall we say. But on this occasion, he is playing Necro.
Wow, okay. Humans versus Necro.
Yeah, that should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, that should be interesting. Yeah, the sound was a bit loud for that one, so I've turned it down for the second round. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, everyone's ears. Right. Yeah, you heard nothing, of course. There's lovely like Celtic noises, and there's different Celtic noises depending on which team is spinning.
You'll have to watch it back.
Yeah, you'll have to. So up next, let's see. Ooh, it's the man who was looking for equality for numerical suffixes. All I have to say is, yeah, go on.
No, carry on.
Oh no, all I wanted to say was if San wanted to blame anyone, he could blame his captain who didn't put any numbers on the Google sheet. I don't think. Maybe
no, I did not. I did not. Yeah, not fully NAF compliant there. So yeah, I shall no doubt get a wagged finger later on for missing the 0638, or is it the 0368? I always forget. I get them mixed up in that sense. But yeah, San is a multi-capped Scotland player coming out of retirement this year. So he is a pro when it comes to that. I think he was also the second person just this year to get into double figures with matches played with all the races in Blood Bowl. So that's quite a cheeky one. And I think he certainly was, I don't know if he currently is, the #1 Black Orc coach in the world, and had the best Black Orc record at Alicante. So the man comes with real pedigree, and with that, we're making him play Amazons.
Yeah. Well, Amazons are pretty good, right?
Glorious. Indeed, not too bad, not too shabby.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And then San will face. Ooh. It's exciting. Oh, is it going to tick over? I think it has.
Oh, Stripey Dave, eh?
Yeah, Stripey Dave. Is he playing Pro Elves or is he playing something else?
He is not playing Pro Elves, but he is playing a form of Elves. So he is lining up with some Woodies. Because one of the things I said to Phil when kind of creating the team is, where possible, can we get a mix of races? There's a few doublers in there for obvious reasons, because most of the squads on the Tartan Army are actually going out to Hungary as well. So obviously they want to practice their races. So we didn't force everybody to have unique races, but at the same time, I didn't fancy the idea of facing 6 undead and 6 Amazons.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's good to give the people who maybe won't get the experience and high caliber matchups consistently to be able to play
Yeah.
their matchups as well. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like how you've done that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Stripey Dave on Woody. So we've got Woody's v Zons. That's probably not music to Sans ears.
No, I would not be happy as an Amazon coach. I don't love playing against Wood Elves. Yeah, I had to play against him twice in Athens. So hopefully San is better Blood Bowl than me, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
That is true. He did beat Greg, the real not real Malteser. It's what's Greg's coach name? I forget now off the top of my head. But he's a very good Woody's coach actually. So
Not Metal
yeah,
Malta, is it?
Metal Malta, that's the one. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Metal Malta is very good.
He
So
is.
yeah,
He beat me in Athens.
there's a recurring theme here.
Yeah. It's funny. I played San as well at Home Nations, and he beat me. I swear I don't lose all my games. It's just everyone I'm talking about has beaten me apparently, except Stripey Dave. I've never played him.
I'm sure we can arrange it at one of these Scottish tournaments.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll pop up. Right, let's see who's up next. It's the biggest man on the wheel.
PlayStation Man, is it? Oh, or is it snuck into Lockie?
It's gone into Lockie. Yeah. It's funny, you say Lockie, right? I would have always called him Loki. Huh.
Lockie. I suppose thinking Lachlan, it's a Scottish kind of. It should be Loki, I guess. So yeah, Loki is Scotland's most successful coach in Eurobowl format, in set of Eurobowls, in terms of record. So he's been around a while. He is our lizard coach, and I fancy him to take on whoever you spin for him.
Yeah. Well, we shall soon find out. Maybe we could have a battle of the big names and he could get chilly.
Being called for in the crowd. So
yeah. Mournival. Yeah. Humans.
So Mournival is rocking some humans, and again, obviously Ryan gained his first Scotland cap last year, so it's two Scotland coaches who've been capped facing each other, so that should be a spicy affair.
Yeah, that'll be a good matchup. Humans versus lizards is quite tough for the humans.
Although you say that, you just read it, right? Mighty Blow tackle blitzer, just
That's
shoot
true.
Shoot the skinks. Job done.
Yeah, that's true. And just feed Linos to the Saurus, and then you're fine. Easy.
Yeah. I don't know what we're worried about.
Congratulations to Ryan on a lovely victory, I'm sure.
Easy result.
Easy result. And up next then, from the Scottish Army. Ooh, is it going to tick over? I think it has. Talon Bay.
Now this is an interesting one because Talon Bay is yet to be capped. He's an underworld specialist, but we've been. In fact, I played Talon Bay at Kent Team Championships just the other weekend there. He was playing Necro, and we were just talking about how we don't think Underworld's necessarily a goer, so he's going to have a bit of an experiment, and he hasn't confirmed to me yet, but I think he might experiment in this tie with vampires.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, both teams. Well, one of them definitely rolls a lot more dice than the other. But both are, well, Underworld were this time last year, right? Probably a problem team that needed to be nerfed. And vampires are definitely a problem team that probably should be nerfed.
Yeah, without doubt, they're the 2+ hypno gaze is just hypno cheat, not hypno gaze, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. I mean, you can play around it, right? But yeah, it'll be if it is vampires, it'll be very, very interesting who he has to play.
I wonder if we'll get a potential vamp off if he spins Marky Mark.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah, I'd be quite happy with that.
We are
Vamps.
moments away from finding out. Oh my god. Okay, we've just ticked over.
Round to Mr. Frodo. You'll be happy with that. I think Alan Bay.
Oh look, it's another Scottish coach who I lost to.
Running theme here.
It is.
So yeah, Mr. Frodo has been around the game for a very, very long time, early 2000s, I think, if memory serves right. He is in the development squad and is based down south somewhere. Sort of Garden of Eden, Garden of Kent, Garden of England, even not Garden of Eden. And he is a Norse main, so he is bringing his Norse to the party, and he plays them quite well. I had the chance to play him in the Welsh. It's quite interesting playing against coaches that you've kind of just selected, and you kind of, I feel the pressure as captain. It's like, I need to beat you. I can't lose to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's good fun.
I get a bit of that back home. I'm like, okay, well, people who in particular I haven't selected, right?
Yeah.
There's I think there's more pressure against people you haven't selected. Thankfully, I a small pool there. But yeah, must be tough playing against people and losing to people you don't select as well, right?
Well, I was lucky. I managed to squeak a win against Mr. Frodo at the Welsh. Although I was actually playing Vamps for the first time, so I was busy scratching my chin trying to figure out how to make Vamps work. And failing badly, I think.
And Mr. Frodo was on the Norse, was he?
Yeah, he was on his main, so he was in his comfort zone, and I was kind of trying to make things work.
Yeah. So we could see something similar, right? If Talon Bay
hasn't
played a lot of
Vamps. I mean that's probably fair game. Talon Bay is confirming Vamps, I can see in chat. So there we are. We have a Vamp Norse match-off. Nice one.
Glorious.
Nice one, Gary.
Right. We shall press on.
I mean, this is glorious content without you having to play Blood Bowl, so let's squeeze it out, you know.
I mean, honestly, I had the spin time at 15 seconds and I turned it down to 10. Thought 15 was taking the piss. So we have Chris.
Yeah, I done goof. So he is rocking some orcs. Obviously, there's question marks over what do you do with big uns in terms of not being able to give them, block. So he's currently playing around with different rosters, so we'll see what he comes to with this one. But
it is interesting.
He had a really good season last season. He was very close to winning the Scottish Championship. He ran out the gate at the start of the season like a rocket, and then just faded a little bit as Lord Garlic caught him up.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very competitive scene, right? So you're going to have, if you have a couple of runs of a tournament, right, and a couple of high place finishes, you'll do well. But there's a lot of tournaments for people to catch up.
Yeah, that's it. The Scottish tournament scene is really come on in the last few years. We've got more 2 days than ever now. I think we're up to about 4, maybe even 5 2 days next year. So that's good for kind of developing the competitive scene in that sense, and you can always be relied upon for well-run one-day tournaments, as you well know, as a frequent attender.
Glorious. Philby is asking, who did San get there, Jock?
San drew Stripey Dave on the Woodies.
There you go. And I done goofed. We're about to find out. Veldora.
Oh, we are. Veldora is on Lizard, so it'll be Lizards v Orcs in that matchup. Veldora Mark, he won his first NAF tournament last year, and he went up to Aberdeen and cornered the market for Granite Bowl. So yeah, congrats to him. He's a coach on the rise in that sense.
He is, yeah, and he loves playing Lizards, and he always somehow finds a different way of putting random skills on his Lizardman team, which is kind of fun. I haven't seen him doing diving tackle croc score yet, but I'm sure it's coming up.
Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah. Right, so we'll press on, won't we? There's not really much for me to say. Oh no, some shitter.
There we are. Who could it be? Yeah, so I'm going to play High Elves in this matchup. I'm kind of not sure what I'm actually taking because my beloved Dark Elves have been uh, scuppered with these rule sets, in my
They
view.
have.
So I'm scratching around for a race at the moment. So High Elf because that's kind of like Dark Elves without the frenzy.
Yeah, high elves are pretty good in the rule set as well. You haven't looked at Tree Blitzer Dark Elves, have you?
Um, I suppose you could. I'm just not a massive fan of the idea of I can't take enough dodge. Like for me,
Yeah.
Dark Elves are all about you blodge them up and then curse the fact that your opponent just rolls pows anyway. But notionally, the idea is that you've got that kind of inbuilt reroll to move around the pitch. So in that sense, as Demi points out, my other alternative is frogs.
Yeah.
Although I was going very well up until Mulligans, I was something like 15-6-0 or something like that with frogs,
Yeah.
which was quite tasty. And a decent weekend at Mulligan's would have seen me go number one frog in the world, which would have been quite cool. Silly
Yeah.
side quest.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's nice to have side
uh, but
quests.
but then yeah, just got you. Well, you were sat next to me down the lower order, so you know
I
exactly what
was,
happened.
yeah. We were like adjacent tables for a good 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah, I mean the annoying thing is you went there with Black Orcs with Mighty Blow to just bang and sort of get pissed and have fun, and I was like, oh god, I'm actually trying to do this thing.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny. It was round 3 or something. I had Greenskin Phil to my left and you directly across the table on the right, and I was like, I feel like one of us shouldn't be in this trio. And it was probably me with my dark or with my fucking black orcs, yeah. So, but here, dice happens, right? And
Oh, tell me about it.
right. And who will you face? Oh my
Well,
god, is there going to be a
big
captain
names,
off?
yeah. I think it might be.
Oh, I think it's just going to take over.
That'd have been spicy. That'd have been quite cool, actually.
It was almost looking like we needed VAR on that one. But yes,
I was
you.
hoping for the Black Orcs. Obviously didn't bribe you enough on
No,
that one.
no.
I have got a joyful match against Chile rolling some Amazons.
Okay.
Yeah, very close, Phil. Very close. It would have been good to have that one. To be fair, I think I would have preferred your undead over the Amazons. I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Amazons they're tricky. Like,
Yeah, I think for elves, it's kind of got draw written all over it.
yeah, which is fine, right? Like you have to. I think you have to look at some matchups and quickly assess which ones you should be winning and which ones you're kind of just happy enough to take a draw.
Yeah,
At
very
least.
much so. Interestingly, that's the homework for the squad currently is to
Okay.
develop their matchup so that when they get drawn on in Budapest, they know what their job is without having to think too hard. That they've already engaged their brain cells. So yeah, it's an activity that we're doing currently.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, and it's good insight to think about the game and the theory of Blood Bowl outside of the actual 16 turns, right? That's pretty cool.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think that's where you eke out your performance at Eurobowl. I mean, obviously the French won last year and they've got some very strong coaches and we drew them in the first round. And I won't bore you with the dice stories, but we were very, very close to drawing with them. And the reality is that I contend that they won Eurobowl because they were just prepped better, not just in the terms of what they could do on six, on a board type thing with 8 coaches. They had 3 support staff. I think they knew within an inch of their life at all times what they were expected to do on the board with in their match type thing to get the team result. I think they're just a really well drilled team,
Yeah,
and I think that's what I'm hoping to see for Scotland this year in Hungary is just that better sort of organisation, a bit more well-oiled sort of drilled machine that just has a routine, goes into it, and knows what they need to do type thing.
yeah. I think it's a good way and a good preparation method. So that's pretty cool. We shall press on because can't be here all day drawing the matches.
We can give it a good try.
We can give it a good go. Valen.
With his mean dwarfs.
Oh, boo, boo dwarves.
Yeah, he's finding that in the Eurobowl rule set, he's just deleting teams basically.
Yeah, yeah. Is he?
Unsurprisingly, before Mighty Blow.
I was going to say, is he doing the 4 and 4? Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah. It's pretty strong. I'm going to take it to some tournament this year, just so I can take dwarves off, because it'll be pretty fun, right? I have a lot of teams I need to tick off this year, as well as trying to get some more Amazon practice. And Valen's dwarves are going to be up against. Ooh.
Or is it going to be the Vamps? I think it's the Vamps. This is the one I was interested in seeing actually happen. Because obviously McNaughton's a very, very good coach, and I think we're going to bump into a lot of Vamps in Eurobowl, unsurprisingly. And obviously Mark's a top coach. If he wasn't taking a break to play in the Open with Full Fat Beard and Mournival, he'd be in the lineup. So that's
Yeah.
a tough match for the Dwarfs. So we'll see how that goes.
It's it's funny. You said it's a tough matchup for the dwarves. I think it's a tough matchup for the vamps as well. If things go against their way, particularly if I think if the vamps can, I don't know. Yeah,
Well, it feels like a shootout, right? In terms
yeah.
of can the Vamps score enough before they get murdered?
That's the thing. Yeah, and if Phelan can just receive the ball and get a few banged out, a few couple of trolls and keep the ball safe, then there's not really much the vamps can do after the first 3 or 4 turns.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm curious to see how this one goes as a matchup.
Yeah, it
In
should
the
be a good
decent
one.
term. Yeah, definitely. I'll be keen to watch that one.
I think that's one I'm definitely going to watch as well myself. Okay. Yeah, I think we've just ticked over, have we? No, we haven't ticked over. Wow. VAR check on that one nearly. I was
So
right. Shrike.
I think he'll be running Skaven.
Okay.
He played Skaven for Scotland last year. But he's been ticking between Skaven and he had a very good Lizard season 2 years ago. So I think he's Skaven. He's not confirmed to me on that one. So I went with his first race, which was Rats. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, fair enough. And
Frank,
Shrike.
I think we can bring beers as well.
Yeah. Ooh, we're going to have Aberdeen off.
They could do that on tabletop. They could go around each other's house.
Diced. They actually, it's
Yeah,
Connor.
it's just like across. Not to be.
No.
The bunny is another Amazons.
Okay,
So
really?
yeah, so the bunny is apparently a big 40k player and has played for Scotland in 40k. So obviously trying to transition to the purest game of Blood Bowl. So we'll see how he gets on.
Yeah. Glorious. And I think he was at Eurobowl last year in the Euro Open with the
He
Northern Irish
was
lads.
I was going to say he did the Ulstermen a solid. They lost a last man to a family emergency, I think, and Ronnie Padster reached out to me and said, "Do you know anybody?" And I managed to conjure up Connor,
Yeah.
and he pretty much flew out on the Friday, and he was properly delayed, so he didn't get into like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then he flew back on the Sunday night as well. So it was a proper in and out job. And
Incredible.
I think he played Orcs in Athens last year.
Wow, yeah, because of course he didn't get any choice on what he was playing either, did he?
No, that was it because he just had to accept the roster that he was filling, basically.
Yeah, that's a funny one, isn't it? So yeah, we're down to the final four. Well, 4 games anyway.
That looks like Bordanas.
It does. Bordanas. Yeah, and
Ant. So Ant is former 4-time Scotland captain, most capped player in Scotland, and a generally good egg to have around in the pub. He is playing Elvin.
Elven Union, really? Wow. Not doing the necro.
Early days. We're still in the testing phase, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Elven Union get a very, very nice package, don't they?
Yeah, we've been going back and forth with the build. There's some interesting builds to be had there. And if he gets Nobla, he's going to be happy about that.
Yeah, Nobla it is.
So Black Orcs for the Elven Union. That sounds like a match made in heaven, really. Unless Nobla's loading up with a mighty blow.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is with Elven Union is you don't really need Mighty Blow to remove him.
No, that's it. They just kind of melt anyway. I think
You
that's one of
do.
my fears around Elven Union for this rule set is what happens when they crunch into a mighty blow tackle piece. Do they
Yeah,
just disappear?
they do. Yeah, yeah. That was certainly what happened to my High Elves, and they have more armor across the board. But yeah, humans with Mighty Blow Tackle and a Sneaky Get Dirty player just kind of went to town. Shockingly enough.
Surprised that, really.
Yeah.
I think you get DP, who knows, a good thing. Or Snurty.
Yeah. Gotta get your Snarty and your Tam. VM Cat, who I actually know nothing about, I don't think.
So Val, again, is a very long-standing coach. I think he may even played in the first World Cup. He started playing, over 20 years ago. He is Scottish born, moved out to Italy when he was a youngster, and then moved back, and he's now a Londoner. He lives in London, and is a Chaos Chosen specialist. And I suppose like there was a lot of gripes about this year's rule set with Eurobowl, shall we say? But I think one of the things that was interesting is that it makes races like Chosen possible.
It
Arguably not in
does.
like the rule set not in a positive way, but there was definitely a lot more races opened up, and Val was one that intrigued me when he come forward with Chaos Chosen.
Yeah, I suppose in terms of tier one teams, besides your Undead and Amazons, the rest of them kind of went in the bin, sort of. But it meant that people have to look at, your likes of your Renegades and your Chosen and your Corn even aren't terrible, right? Um,
Yeah, that's it. I mean, like I think Borak Renegades is a legit roster.
yeah, a lot of people are looking at Boar Renegades.
Is
Yeah.
it not right to say that the Irish team are basically having an internal civil war over who gets to go Borak Renegades?
Well, that's listen, I was very firm as to who gets to play the Renegades. But yes, I did have four people who wanted to play Renegades out of my 12. So yeah, that's the only main decision I've done so far is like, right, you're in the open, you're playing Renegades, you're in the bowl, you're playing Renegades, and then the rest of the open and the bowl hasn't been picked. It's just like, okay, everyone else can have a think about what you want to do, but if you want to do Borak Renegades, you're here. Move on. So is he playing Chaos Chosen?
Yeah, for this round he is, yeah, and
Okay,
I think
okay,
we're looking at Chosen for Eurobowl as well.
okay.
He'll obviously have a moment in the sun with the home nations as well. I think that's going to be an excellent testing ground, really.
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to the home nations, and we've one of our new caps will be going to the home nations as well. So we have two new caps in Team Ireland, and thankfully one of them can get to the home nations. It's not always possible, with the time of the year for the home nations. It's during the holidays and stuff for a lot of family people. So we've had a couple of people miss out. But so yeah, VM Cat's up against another Chaos Chosen fanatic, I suppose. Phil's been playing a bit of Chaos Chosen recently.
But for this occasion, he is undead, so that'll be a tricky
Yeah.
matchup for Val, I would think.
Should do. Yeah. Yeah. Mummies can go to town on Beastman, right?
Yeah.
They can always afford, well, depending on the roster, right? They can afford a cheeky foul as well if it's pretty juicy. So
Yeah,
glorious.
it's definitely one of the premier teams this time round, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I think
I mean,
so.
they've always been one of the premier teams, but the rule set seems to have sort of emphasise that.
Yeah, I think they're one of the main standout teams for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Right, so we're down to the final ones. So let's see who gets drawn up. Whether it's Camel Chops or Sporan.
Is it a PlayStation special? It looks like it.
So Sporan or Sporan, however you want to, emphasize the vowels, will be up against 50-50, right? I think it's ticked over to Phil B.
There it is. Phil B.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are. So that'll be an interesting one. So we've got. Oh, this could be on Blood Bowl 3 if Philby is an owner of Blood Bowl 3. So we've got Sporran's Undead versus Philby rocking some Elven Union.
Okay.
So that should be an interesting match.
Yeah. Well,
Just don't bring the dice with the symbols on the one, Liam. For those not in the know, they met at Glasgow a couple of years ago, and Liam sort of run halfway through the first half on his drive, just deleting Sporan's Undead. In fact, he was playing Undead, and it turned out that one of the dice, the set of D6 he was rolling, had the symbol on the one, and he just thought he'd been rolling sixes.
Oh my god. Fucking hell. I always knew there was something funny about that, Liam. Right, so then the final one is Camel Chops, obviously, versus Dougal Bro, is it? Dougal Bro?
Dougal 666, yeah. So Dougal is a coach down in Dominion, I think, off the top of my head. Fairly new to the game, but he did what I recommended any coach that was mildly interested, which was to apply for the Scotland team, and he's on the Tartan Army, one of the Tartan Army teams going out to Hungary, so he should have a cracking good time. And he is turning up with Necro in this tie, so it's Skaven versus Necro for the last match.
That's a tough
tricky
one
at all.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Who would you rather be in a Skaven versus Necro match?
Ooh, that is a tough one. I have to say, I feel like Necro are my bogey team. Maybe that's because I'm a Dark Elf coach, but I really struggle against Necro. I just think they've got a lovely kind of anti-one turn, because like even with the Jugs Rat that Kevin will be running, just whack some sidestep on the sideline, on the sides of the line of scrimmage, and say, "Have at it, lad."
Yeah, exactly. Have you been updating the Google Docs you sent me just so we could show
I
it?
have. If you magically put it on screen, we will have the the matchups.
Glorious. Yeah, so that was pretty fun. Trying to find the link. This is. Yeah, here we go. Maybe just don't fully dox myself. Excellent. God, everyone's gonna know I'm a Man United supporter. Fuck's sake. There's nothing worse. There we go. Let me just scroll that over there. Wonderful. By the power of magic and television, there are all the matchups that's going to happen. Super exciting.
Yeah, it should be a good one for sure. And basically, it's a 2-week window from the 29th of March, I've said, to the 13th of April. But if guys want to get started, they can. But yeah, that's kind of we need to be done by the 13th so that we keep on track for our match against England towards the start of May.
Okay, cool. So doing
Karen?
Is it just 12v12 for the England one?
Yeah, so where possible, we're trying to sort of like blood all of the 12, because obviously I haven't fixed down who's in, like Ireland, we've not fixed who's in the bowl and who's in the open, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a reasonable idea on where I can see people going, but there is still time basically for any one of the 12 coaches to impress and push their way into the eight if they're not in my thinking currently for the eight, in that sense. Yeah, so I'd be hard pressed to kind of say this is my eight right now, because
Mhm.
I think with the rule set, one of the things that's kind of thrown up a conundrum for me, and I don't know if it's the same for you, is what races ultimately, is the question in my mind.
Yeah, yeah, it's something that has to be considered, and you also have to look at what coaches are comfortable in playing. Like, there's no point in being like, oh, I really want someone to play rats, but if there's no one who's comfortable playing rats, you can't just go, all right, you're playing rats.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm very much of that school of thought as well. I'd much rather have a coach in their comfort in their wheelhouse than making them play something they've never played before because it's a good race. You know, like for example,
Yeah.
I think Vampires, as Galentio mentions in chat, I think Vampires is actually a classic example. We know they're a really good race. I know that anybody that's a specialist vamp, that's anywhere decent will probably be in their bowl squads for their countries. Like for example, Torquemada, I'd be surprised if he's not in the eight because he's just wicked good with vampires.
Yep.
Um, but I don't see currently a Scottish coach that's a specialist with vampires that I could go, oh, you've got the vampire slot type thing, if you were going to sort of go that way. And so I'd rather, I wouldn't necessarily sort of say, right, okay, Gary, you're definitely on vampires, off you go. This is very much kind of like a testing phase for him because obviously he's underworld traditionally, and I think that's something that I would say to like Scottish coaches that watch this back. And I've got a long promised blog post to write about how we made the selection decisions, because obviously Scotland changed how we selected things selected the team this year. Um, but I think one of the key things is look at the races that we don't have strength and depth and master them. You know, is the key, to my mind. Because if you look at someone like Sporin, who is obviously one of our top coaches, he's an undead slash orc main. If you're coming along and saying, "Well, I play orcs," and it's like, "Well, yeah, but are you better than Sporin?" You
Yeah,
know,
it's a tough one to crack into, isn't it?
yeah, so that's kind of my kind of like little nugget for anybody that's sort of sitting there thinking for Scotland or for Ireland or for any sort of Eurobowl nation is that if you're looking to try and crack into a team, then you know look at who's sitting in the seat for the race that you would like to play and think, can I get better than them, or is there a weakness in the team? And I would say Scotland, obviously being a smaller Blood Bowl nation, we have that weakness. We don't have many strong high elves. We don't have a necro main. We don't have someone that can just whip out vampires and go to town type thing. So there's plenty of opportunity, I would say, for Scottish coaches to break into the setup if they can come with a bit of mastery,
Yeah, definitely.
into a race, basically. Which is cool because it means that actually, you know, the competitive end of the community can push on and develop and push themselves, basically.
Yeah, I think that's very well put, Jock. I suppose we'll just wrap up the video in case people are going to watch it back. So we'll just
I was going to say, are you going to put in some bold predictions here?
Oh, do you want me to do the predictions? Okay.
Go on. Well, it wouldn't be a stream without a famous Kiefer Bix prediction, right?
Okay, okay. Right, fuck. Okay, so Lord Garlic on humans versus Phil's Necro. God, I've played both of these coaches, yeah. Um, I think I'd give it to Phil, honestly. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards a draw. Maybe Phil will edge it. Um, yeah.
So
I
it
think.
sounds like you want to sit on two ends of the stool there.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, maybe a draw is kind of more fair than a away win. Um, and then we have San versus Stripey Dave. Yeah, again, it could have draw written all over it. So I think I'll go draw there as well. And then I think Loki will beat Mournival. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I
Talon
think that
Bay. Hmm?
I think I could see that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think experience will win out.
I think they're both good coaches, but I think Lizards could beat him anyway, definitely. I can't just go draw, right? I have to pick some.
You have to get off the bench, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think the Vampires will beat the Norse as well, so home win. Um, Orcs versus lizards. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a draw there. I think that's pretty safe. Um,
Be careful
I
now.
I know. I was well. Clearly, Amazons are OP, so it's a way win, right? No, I think we'll go for a draw there as well. Yeah, and then I'm going to back McNaughton to beat the dwarves, and the rats to beat the Amazons. Yeah, and then the Elven Union to beat the Black Orcs. And the undead to beat the chosen, the undead to beat the Elven Union, and the rats to beat the Necro.
Oh, so that's quite a strong win then for that you're predicting for Team
It
Scotland.
is now that I'm looking at it. Yeah.
6 to
Damn.
2. So that's what 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2. Oh, not 2002, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's 4-6-4-2. That is quite strong, isn't it? I suppose like I could be a bit more on the fence about a couple of the draws, but yeah, 6-4-2. I mean, again, right? It's supposed to be Team Scotland versus the Tartan Army against like the development guys, so you probably didn't want me to go 6-4-2 in the Tartan Army favor.
Oh, yeah, I mean, interestingly, like there's 3 caps in there with Phil, Mornevo, and McNaughton. So,
Yeah,
you know, yeah, I mean, if I was to if I was to disagree with you, I think Phil probably gets the win in the first round
Phil.
with against Lord Garlock
Yeah,
against the human.
yeah,
I think that might be an away win if I was a betting man. Depends on how rusty Phil is because he's not been at the sharp end for a while.
yeah,
So it'd be interesting to see how he does with the Necro. Um, and then it'll just depend on how Stripey Dave does with his Elfin.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
Wood Elves, unlike other elves, with the ability to leap in, are pretty mystical with their strip ball. Um, I
yeah. I
wonder
think
if
so. It could
I
if
wonder if
Zan
Mike.
doesn't play well enough.
Yeah, I wonder if Mike will carry on a big girl there or not. Be an interesting question.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, nice one.
Um,
Oh, cheers for that, my man.
right, lovely. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and you can follow along in the Scottish Discord for the updates and when the games are going to happen. No doubt, Jock will publish a schedule and all that, like he did for the Malta one. So we'll link that down in the description. Lovely.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jock, for joining us.
yep. Yeah, that's great, mate. Really appreciate that. I'm glad we managed to fill an hour of Blood Bowl time without seeing a Blood Bowl pitch. Fantastic.
Yeah, amazing. Always what I want to do.